welcome. I am honored today to have one of my favorite people on this planet, literally Carla Atherton. Thank you so much, Carla, for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me, Medea. It's just such an honor and a privilege and so much fun. You're gonna brighten my day, even though I had such technical difficulties today. Just talking to you makes everything better.
Ah, yay! Well, then that's what you're trying to do too, because you tell us a little bit more. You have like these awesome programs going on. Tell us about these programs you have and a little bit about your background and how you came to where you are today and why you created these programs.
Oh, well, that's just a tiny question. So I'll just, yeah. Okay. So where should I start? I'll start at the beginning, sort of, actually, yeah, I'll start at the beginning. So I came into the functional health space through diagnoses of my own family, my own health issues sort of led me down certain paths. I've always been really interested in natural medicine, as well as just lifestyle stuff. As a teenager, I thought, maybe I should be on my bike instead of, hanging out with everybody in the basement playing video games, stuff like that. So I knew that, but I didn't really have a lot of guidance in that way because I grew up in the 80s with Kraft Dinner and, Kool-Aid, right? Like that's when everything was like, oh, convenience is the best. And, if we just go to McDonald's, that's just like, awesome, just to be able to not have to worry about, fruits and vegetables and that stuff was really boring. So that's how I grew up. And then when we had these health crises, and I don't know, maybe I shouldn't call them crises. I don't really actually even want to put it that way, because when something was telling us, look here, by way of symptoms, look here, look a little deeper, guys, we really had to take note, because they weren't small diagnoses. There were depression, and there was GI issues, and then there was many more. I don't want to get too far into that because I get a little personal, but one of those things was type 1 diabetes. So my middle daughter was diagnosed when she was 11, so that's 10 years ago now. And when we got these answers that were kind of not really real answers in our medical model, which is really set up to, just kind of not dig in. It's really to react to conditions that are acute. But when we have something that's a chronic condition, we need to go a little deeper. And all of those lifestyle factors that I learned, were not really that important, but you could do it if you wanted, to keep you healthy. They were integral. They were absolutely integral to my daughter's healing and our whole family healing. So I dug really deep into that. And I'm going to get into the programs that I've produced since then, but I just want to make sure you can hear me, because you're freezing for me a little bit.
Yeah, no, I got you. Yep, we can hear you perfect.
All right. Yay, good. Okay. So when that diagnosed, that big D day, yeah, that big D day in the hospital, it was like, the kid in the next bed's eating Fruit Loops. And, it's like, we're being taught, as long as you take enough insulin for the carbs that you're eating, everything's fine. And I was like, I don't think it is. How are we supposed to really keep, blood sugars under control if there's always that shot of sugar all the time? That didn't make any sense to me. And then as I learned more and more and more, it made less and less sense to give that kind of advice. So I figured out things kind of the long way and the hard way. Maybe that was okay. Maybe that was our journey so that I could get to where I am now, or where we are now. But in that process, I realized that I needed to share the information that I was encountering, that I was uncovering. There's a whole world of healing out there. And I started out in functional medicine, but that wasn't even the tip of the iceberg. I mean, that was just the beginning of learning about, even things like energetic causal factors and stress causal factors, and, and how important, lifestyle is, and all these epigenetic issues. And genes are not destiny. It's actually most of the control is in our hands, and how our genes express themselves. All that stuff was just revolutionary for me. So I started putting all that together, and I did 4 children's health summits, and I do plan on doing more. But that was wonderful. I've done over 170 interviews. And that way I learned a lot too, and was able to share that information with a lot of parents as well. Then I started Healthy Family Formula, actually at the same time. And that's an initiative where I do one-on-one and family coaching, because there wasn't really anybody out there doing family coaching. It was individual,
No.
and it was either like, you coached people toward like healthier lifestyle habits, but it wasn't really, like unraveling chronic conditions. And our kids are being diagnosed like every day, just a
Every
flood
day.
of diagnoses coming out. And and I just want to make sure I'm not talking over you. I'm sorry, because you're freezing on my end.
No,
So if I talk over you, I really apologize. Are you trying to get a word in?
no, I'm good. I'm good. Keep on.
Okay, okay, just making sure. Because I thought, what if you're asking questions and I just keep talking over you? Okay, good. Okay. So I did that. So I started doing that. And then I thought, well, I can't do this by myself. Like, I need an army of people doing this work. And there's nobody coaching in the way that I coach, where I teach people about all these, I dig into the functional testing and we find out what those root causes are. And our whole premise in functional medicine is root cause resolution. So we want to resolve whatever's causing. We don't want to like slap on a band-aid and hope the wound goes away. We want to stitch it up. And so that's what I started to do with my clients. And then I started to teach that to other people. So I opened up the HFF Healthy Family Formula Academy in 2018 and started training people to do this work. And it's just, I absolutely love it. It's like my heart. And I only teach it twice a year, if that. It's more like once every 8 months, because it's a 7-month program. And then we take a month, I take about a month off in between. I don't want to take it off, but I take it off of teaching that program. And then I start again. So it's kind of like a cycle like that. So that's one of the programs that I teach. That's my big one. That's when people like, I want to learn everything Carla knows. Well, mostly we start there. That's the foundational program. So and that's like the big one. But then I have client programs. So I thought, well, we can do one-on-one, which is great, but then we're missing the community. And that's what I love about you, Medea. And you have one of the things, you have such a vibrant, amazing community that you have built. And I'm just like, you have done such wonderful service for those people. It's a beautiful, heartfelt, safe and warm place to land for people who just really need your support. And so that's what I that's what I hope that I provide for my community too. So I obviously have a newsletter, right? So that's how I reach out. But my programs needed to be more than just one-on-one, right? Like they needed to be more of a community, more where parents could like connect with each other, because in this space, it's still not common for people to look for root cause resolution. It is more common to go the medicalized route. And again, it has a place and a time, but not when you're, coaching people to find the root causes and then all the lifestyle stuff that goes on with that, and really finding your health naturally. So I developed these group coaching sessions, group coaching programs and sessions. And the one that I'm offering right now is a type 1 diabetes fundamentals program. So your child, type 1 diabetes and fundamentals for healing program, which is so exciting. We're doing it. I do a half-day session. So this is how I work my group coaching programs. I do a half-day session, which is a really nice, I guess, overview, and it's a quick start. And so there's lots of tools that people get just by attending that alone. And then we move into a 6-week program if families really want to dig in with me and do like a personalized intakes process. And if they want to do like, the 6 weeks of weekly live coaching sessions. Yeah, thank you for putting that up there. And if they want to do like, work more closely with me on uncovering root causes and, finding, like doing lab testing and all that kind of stuff. And then getting that support that I think is integral as well, that mental and emotional support, that finding out, like, like reducing stress. Like you probably know this, obviously, is that if we're stressed, there is no healing. There's no healing if we're stressed, because the body is just trying to survive. It's not doing anything healing, right? It's just getting by. So those are my, so I'm going to let you jump in. Like, do you have any, also have a book, but I could just keep going on and on. So I just want to make sure that you're getting the information that you want and need for your community.
No, I love that because we need more people who are dealing with families and coaching one-on-one. And there's there's only so much one person can do. And this is why I love like supporting you and your work, because we need more people doing this kind of work. And you can't just, because there's so many people to help heal and, you know, reach and try to fix and improve and help them find their root causes, that you just can't do this in your own silo. You got to work together. So I'm so thankful for everything that you're doing. So let us know where people can find you and how they can, you know, look into more of these programs that you're offering.
Yeah, for sure. And one thing I just want to say about, like, you know, just quickly before I move into that, is that yes, we need, that's why the group programs are really useful, because then we can work with more people at once. And then it's really beneficial for everyone to learn from each other because of their questions they have and, you know, their individual experiences in a way that is, I guess, more guided by someone who is trained and understands, you know, like quality information, right? Because we can find a lot of stuff out there, and I highly encourage people to always look, like go ahead and do your searches. But sometimes it's hard to pick out what is the right information for you, what is, you know, the useful stuff, or maybe, you know, accurate sometimes. So that's where that comes in. And also, like, this, I don't want to really use war terms, but like I keep thinking of it as an army of practitioners, right? Like, I don't want to feel like we're fighting something, but maybe we're fighting for something, right? We're fighting for the health of our families.
Absolutely.
And again, yes, we need more people doing that work because there are not enough of us. And for myself and my practice, I've really tried to put a lot of focus on fewer people in my programs themselves. But the bigger outreach is my book, where people just read everything, and also like my newsletter and my blog posts and all the writing that I do and the speaking I do. And then that way I can reach lots of people. But when they work with me, it's a more intimate experience, because it's you really need to dig in and focus on those people that have come into your space because you've matched up, right? You're matched up with that person, and you know that that's the one you want to work with and get your support from. So, okay. So that said, people can, they can find me. I'm so distracted because it feels like I'm looking way up at something weird because my phone, it's so strange to be on the phone doing this. I like having my big computer, but people can find me at healthyfamilyformula.com. And so on that website, we're doing a little facelift, but you can find the practitioner training program. We actually start on Sunday. And I know that's terrible because I didn't realize it was the US Thanksgiving, but we do, I make up for that first class if people have to miss it. And we do replays and, you know, all that stuff. So I'm very much involved in getting people caught up if that's an issue for you to show up on Sunday and if it seems a little fast, but connect with me and we can work that stuff out. So that's the training program. So they can also find information on my website about my book called Family Health Revolution. They can find my free podcast that has, like, it's basically like they're training, or not training, they are coaching sessions, I suppose. And so about like many different topics, from the immune system to GI to mental health to addictions to type 1. I do a full hour on type 1 diabetes. So people want to know my kind of like my approach to type 1. They could listen to that first before they come to and, you know, commit to the session. That's totally fine. And then they can find out about my other individual programs. There's lots of them, but I only post the ones that are the ones I'm offering right now. So there will be more coming up in the new year, such as mental health program for youth and et cetera, an addictions program, as well as a general chronic illness, children with chronic illness program. So how to unravel all that and then get better. Really. That's where they can find me, healthyfamilyformula.com. They can also book a meet and greet with me through that website as well. So pretty easy to find me.
I love it. I love it. I love it. You guys, everybody, please check out Carla's work. She is doing such revolutionary work, and she is one of the people that is right there by my side. I'm here for her, and so I am so incredibly honored to know her and help her support her work. So please let me know if you guys have any questions. You guys can put it in the comments here. And I know that we had some people also say, look, amazing program. Yay, thank you, Versana. So lots of
if they have questions, let me know.
Yes, we're here for you guys. And please check out healthyfamilyformula.com and her books and her podcasts and all her courses to help jumpstart your family's health. Thank you so much, Carla, for joining me today. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. Love you.
Love you too.